favorite gags from The Stand when Richard Flagg introduces himself to Lloyd Henreid. He like, "Hi, it's a pleasure to meet you. Why don't you guess my name?"
All right. Hello and welcome to The Orig, a show by Damage Control Podcasting, a professionally unprofessional look at the conventions, ideas, and genres of filmmaking. I'm here with
Cody Dietrich.
Why don't you guess my name? Daniel Newkirk.
Lucifer. Get it? Because it's from the song?
Tyler.
All right, this episode's...
You had to ruin
Did I
it.
not get to see a picture of it? Who is it?
It's porn.
It's porn.
Oh.
Don't worry about it. You won't like it. It's a girl.
This episode's this episode's topic is sympathy for the devil flicks. But first,
Oh, I thought we were just going to talk about the song.
first, a word from our sponsor.
Coupon number 17, ration coupon 17. Are you planning to use your shoe ration coupon to buy white shoes? If so, give them the best of care. Keep them clean with Energine Shoe White. No shoe white can make your shoes look whiter than Energine Shoe White.
This is
It's made
super
with the very
racist.
whitest pigment known. And it
I was on
dries so
Nazi.org.
easily, dries so evenly.
Oh, you want to hear about
It gives
super
your shoes
racist.
the neat,
I need to
well-kept
tell you
look
about
they
what
must
Cody
have
said
to give
yesterday.
you the most satisfactory wear.
Can't wait to hear
For the best of care for the white shoes you wear, remember Energine Shoe White. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
That is the product used by dads who cut their grass wearing shoes. I heard today. Oh my god.
Don't say it out loud
Why?
because we're recording.
No one listens. Oh, your mom does. Does your mom know that you're racist?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Okay,
Damn.
so
Okay, so to clarify,
Come on.
because this needs some sort of explanation, Cody accidentally likes to say randomly racist shit, and it's of no fault of his own, but it's one of those things that kind of put it on our radar. And so yesterday, Cody and I were working on a Magic the Gathering project, and if you know anything about Magic the Gathering, there's 5 colors: white, blue, red, green, and black. And we were talking about a categorized selection of creatures that are humans. Those specifically have the human type. And I swear to you, Cody said this sentence to me: there's a lot of black humans that are just bad. In reference to specifically the Magic the Gathering cards.
Wow.
so he said after he said it.
Wow.
Yes.
That's almost as bad as Adam hating yellow people.
Yeah. So I feel like it is worse if we don't explain that part of the story for anyone who listens.
I
Cody,
think it
we
would have been
could've
better
just-
if we didn't explain it, and then they just don't know what he said.
And we could have just not said it on air.
No, it's
No,
all
that's
about
true.
content.
I mean, what else are you going to
Well-
use your Ration 17 shoe for?
Well, hopefully I can get some sympathy.
Oh,
Aha.
nice segue.
Yeah.
Sympathy
I don't
for the
get it.
devil.
Oh, that's what we're
This is a hot button topic for me because I hate it. I hate when they make bad guys make you feel bad for the bad guys. I do not like it. Also, I also understand the whole one person's terrorist is another person's freedom fighter thing. So it's like it puts me in a weird situation.
Yeah. This is actually kind of topical because I watched a movie that is probably, I would dare say, the most popular Sympathy for the Devil type of movie.
The Bible?
Fair point, but no. I watched Wicked yesterday.
Ah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I think Wicked is a perfect example of these kinds of movies because in Wizard of Oz, you have Wicked Witch of the West, and she's just evil, you know? I'm going to slap your hand if you keep rumbling the microphone. And
It's not me today.
it's not you today.
But here's me now.
Yeah, you fuckers. Anyway, so like Wicked, the show really builds up Alphaba to be
That's her name.
that's her name, and she's Alphaba, the Wicked Witch of the West.
In the Ridge too.
I don't
think
she
they had-
arranged.
she had a
They-
name.
But
they
it's based.
gave her a
But it's
name.
based on a book. Was it that in the
yeah.
book?
Yeah, but the book that it's based on came out in like the early 2000s.
Okay. Here. Since we didn't have any trivia, here's some real quick trivia. What does she say to the monkeys as they're flying out the window?
Isn't Fly My Pretties Fly or something like that?
In the movie, what does she say?
Peace out, bitches.
She actually just says "fly, fly, fly." someone.
She says, "Fly, you fools."
That's one of those. That's one of those Mandela
Mandela effects
things,
that
yeah.
people think she.
Okay.
Also, what does the Scarecrow have in his hand when they're
A gun.
He has a gun. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's yeah. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, so like Wicked just really builds up Alphaba to be like a heroic, sympathetic kind of character. Galinda is
The Good Witch.
supposed to be the good witch, and she is just mean girl the entire movie. That spoilers if you hadn't seen it. This was kind of a spoiler to me, but the Wizard of Oz turns out to be one of the main villains.
Yeah.
Doesn't that isn't it not really Sympathy because she's not actually the villain? Like it's
No, but you're taking a character who was quote unquote the devil in the Orig story and going, she's this way because of society.
but she doesn't do anything evil. If I'm remembering correctly, like in the original Wizard of Oz movies, yes, she is evil. Like she does
Yes.
Well-
evil things.
Well, yes, but she's justified. Like, Dorothy drops a house on her sister and steals her sister's
Okay,
shoes.
no,
Yeah, I agree.
It steals the shoes. Dorothy didn't drop the house. The tornado did.
Yeah, I'll give
Let's
it.
get that
tornado,
straight.
Yeah.
But
Like,
still-
it was not an intentional action.
But
is
still,
what I would say.
Dorothy stepped out of a building that crushed somebody and said, "Ooh, nice shoes."
But did she steal the shoes?
But
I thought
and
the shoes just
yeah,
appeared
the
on her
shoes just
feet.
appeared on her feet.
Yeah,
She didn't take them off the dead
Glinda
body.
put them on her, right? She went biddity boop and went.
Yeah, so
Still,
Galinda-
Dorothy loots the body.
Galinda
at
was
no
played
point-
by Adam Sandler in the I should put
But
I
at no
was-
point does Dorothy like have any right to the shoes. Like those belong to the Wicked Witch of the West and the Ridge.
And you could say that, yes.
Unless
And
the
we
Wicked
can go
Witch
back
of
and probably say that maybe I think it maybe happens a little different in the book, but in that movie, she doesn't put the shoes on herself. She didn't drop the house herself. So the idea of that she is at fault for those is not her fault. It is she's a victim of circumstance.
Did she ever try to take the shoes off and give
She
them
was
to the
told
witch?
she couldn't.
Did she try?
Did you see how nice those shoes made her ass look though? Then why would you take those off?
God damn, Judy Garland. Yeah.
continue.
No, I'm just saying that, like,
And she was also told those were her only way to get home.
then make a fucking life in Oz.
Ah,
Wait, the prison movie? Nah, I ain't making no life in that one.
sorry, but
Which Wicked Witch? Abadabba.
Which
her name?
Wicked Witch?
Alphaba.
Which
Alphaba.
Which
Did you
witch
like
is which?
Mila Kunis or the current Alphaba?
Alphaba.
When did Mila Kunis play?
Oz,
Oz is great and powerful.
Oh, I never saw that one. I don't mind the actress that they have playing Alphaba in the new Wicked movie. That's the one I watched, the most recent one that just came out. I didn't mind her. I don't understand what the big controversy about her being Alphaba is.
Yeah, I don't.
She seemed to play the character just fine.
that
And she's
is-
expressive. She's interesting.
Plus,
yeah, like,
plus it's a
I think that's a different point than what we're talking about here today.
I don't
Yeah.
know what the controversy is.
Well, I just meant
her
which one was
playing
sexier.
it.
I was being misogynistic.
Okay.
Okay.
So in that regard, I
The
did not find
first
the actress
one.
attractive.
The-
Yeah, I
The
was just
first
being,
one.
I was just being misogynistic.
Oh, fair enough.
Dorothy
I
Hamill?
can't. Yeah.
She-
Oh yeah,
Dude, have you seen her IMDb picture? She actually is pretty gorgeous.
Who?
Duh.
The original Wicked Witch of the West.
Oh, yeah.
she's gorgeous.
Why do you think I love
Is that
riding the
before
Great
the
Movie
burns?
Ride?
You think?
I'm fairly certain.
well, the
yes.
burns only were on her legs and stuff, if I
Yeah.
understand it.
It's a full body nude shot though.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so you're
but
saying
when
if
the
she
legs
had-
are up here, Cody, I'm looking right at them.
Right, exactly.
So okay. Speaking of Sympathy for this isn't a movie, but and this may be an old thing, but I've only recently heard it. They're trying to turn like the ultimate bad guy, right, in the Bible. Well, I guess the ultimate bad guy would be Satan. The second or third most ultimate bad guy would be Judas, right?
Okay.
So there's
Yeah.
like a movement to turn him into a good guy. Like he was
It was
destined.
part of the plan.
He was
him
playing.
him and Jesus.
He knew what he was going
Yeah.
to do. He knew, like Jesus, was like, look, man, you just gotta do it.
you have to do this.
Yeah, like I don't like that. I mean,
Well, that's the
No, no.
conversation about the entire kind of, I think, the point of Sympathy of the Devil is you have that wanting to understand why they did these things. You're wanting that side of these characters. But at the same time, you also don't want them to be able to be justified for their actions because they still did bad things.
I think the only time that worked well is when you're trying to take a really evil character and justify it or make him say, yeah, he is a piece of shit, but here's this is the Killing Joke. I think that's like the only time, because it was written well. Because you're still like, the Joker's fucking evil, but yeah, he did kind of get screwed over, but he's still a horrible piece of shit.
Yeah, and I especially like that because of the comment where he talks about the multiple choice background. Like, you still walk away going, was that the truth?
Yeah,
But you still don't necessarily walk away going, okay, this character is a good guy. Like, even through like the original Killing Joke stand-up story, like you see, okay, you had some bad days, but you were still willing to work with a crime lord to get money for your family, and long before you started murdering people. Like, you were a bad person, you just didn't act on it. Like, you can see that in Killing Joke.
See, like the Sandman from Spider-Man 3. Do you think that was way too much sympathy, where he's like, I just wanted to steal so that I could pay for my daughter who was sick, and then I fell into this nuclear thing that made me sand, and for some reason I'm still evil.
It's been forever since I've seen it, so I don't remember. But speaking of the Sandman, isn't that what they did to all the villains in No Way Home? They've all like, look, except for Green Goblin. Then they're like, oh, we should all feel bad for these people.
A little bit.
Except for the Green Goblin.
I mean, Doc Ock doesn't really... In the Raimi Spider-Man, he's not evil. It's the ARMS AI that have taken over his brain. He's basically just mind. But he's not even thinking. It's that AI, and he's basically just a meat sack with octopus arms.
And that's what they do in the Sam Raimi and No Way Home stuff. And I actually didn't care for that part. Like, Doc Ock, like, noble, inspired, but always, like, the interesting Doc Ock is evil without the AI. He is a bad, mad scientist kind of character. So, like, I don't like the fact that you can be like, oh, he's a nice guy, but he's got evil arms. Like, you can't fall back and make that your bad guy, in my opinion.
No, I agree. I was just saying, like, there's no real sympathy for him because by their explanation, he's not actually doing anything. Like, yes, he created it, but, I mean, he didn't create it knowing that... Well, I mean, I guess he had an idea because he made that inhibitor chip, but...
Right.
Did any of you see the Penguin show?
No, that's on my list to watch.
All right, I won't talk about it, but all I'll say is, like, that's a good way of taking an evil villain and making him the lead centric of the show, and not have him, like, hated, but also not like, I can see why he's doing it. Like, you could, like, oh, this dude's bad, this dude's evil, but still be enthralled by watching what he's doing, but not feel like oh, I can see why. No, he's horrible.
So one type of things that I don't want any sympathy for is when it's a horror film. I don't want any like Mike Myers, like, he's just evil. Like, there's no...
Yeah, that Love Guru sucked. Cat in the Hat was horrible.
We went right to the same joke.
Hey, there was a funny hoe joke in
All
Cat
right,
in the
so
Hat.
in the scene with the window and Mike Myers looking through it, that is a metaphor for his sympathy.
Yeah.
Someone stop him.
Yeah, let's go and talk about all of them.
I know where Tyler's going with this one. The Nightmare on Elm Street remake, which I like their depiction of Freddy. I think it's a shitty movie. But they were like halfway through the movie, they're like, guys, we lied. This janitor, we said he was sexually harassing us. He didn't, and and I almost walked out of the theater until it turned.
Yeah, that's the one that's got that twist where it's like, no, he's a good guy. Oh, no, he's not.
Nah, he's Puff Daddy incarnate. He is a piece of shit human being.
Yeah, so same opinion. Same with that, like, okay, so you're going to make it where it's justified for this revenge. He's just killing all these people.
Yeah, because even if a group of kids did, because in reality, especially in today's world, in reality, when it comes to news, if it bleeds, it leads. So let's say a bunch of kids did say this person sexually assaulted them, and then it turned out like, oh, they were just lying. That guy will not have another job ever, because even in a court they say this dude is innocent and he literally had to do nothing. in the eyes of the public, he is a fucking pedophile.
Absolutely, it's
So-
guilty until proven innocent.
But that doesn't justify him for putting on claws and killing people, even if
Right.
So like, why even have with a character like that? You shouldn't have sympathy, because even if he had one bad day, putting on claws, because the original Freddy Krueger he killed children, but he was a child molester. He molested the children before he killed them.
Mm-hmm.
So no amount of bad days will justify molesting children. So like when I saw that route, I was upset because I'm like, why are you making this guy into feel bad for him because he's molesting children? Or even if like it turned out the molesting part wasn't right, he's still killing children.
Yeah.
But then it turned out like, he actually was a horrible piece of shit. And I guess Sympathy for the Devil isn't bad if it's a new character. But if you take an established character,
Yes.
with 40, 50 comic book character, literary character, TV character that's got established backstory, and you're just like, I'm going to reinvent the wheel. Why? The wheel's just fine. Let's not reinvent it. No, let's take this guy let's make Darth Vader let's make him feel sorry for him. No, he fucking cut the heads off of youngling. Well, I'm assuming he probably did. We don't really see it. But he did kill. He
No,
didn't.
it's the Star Wars universe. It's all arms and legs.
He did wipe out a tribe of sand people to get after his mom. Yes, he was going after his mom.
Hey,
but
hey!
I
That's
think-
not his fault. He doesn't like sand.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
it just gets everywhere.
It
it's
is-
in the name. Sand people.
Cody.
Yeah, so
there's
I
a
think-
lightsaber in that movie, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
I think that Vader is actually a good example of how to do the backstory of a character, because I don't remember ever feeling sympathy for Anakin. I remember like thinking, boy, that was a pretty quick fall, but I don't remember like ever going, oh, poor Anakin. No,
Yeah.
He was
he's
justified for doing so. Like, that feeling never crossed my mind.
exactly.
Oh, I thought that's what you said. I'm like, we just talked about how he
No.
murdered a bunch of kids,
No,
Cody.
like the thought, this excuses all of their actions.
Yeah, like the vanity of the Jedi Council, the killing of Count Dooku, the murdering of the younglings, like all of those steps, the murdering of the Sand People, the secret affair with Padme, like all of those things that are so anti-Jedi, and he embraces all of those things. Like, no, you don't get any sympathy from me.
Yeah, like, you didn't dally it. You didn't, like, I'm going to stick a finger. No, you ran full long into that fire.
Right, like, you got seduced by an old man saying you can live forever. No.
Yeah, but I mean, come on. He was trying to save Natalie Portman.
I mean, hey,
Okay.
Have you
Sorry.
Have you not heard the tragic story of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
I have not watched that series, no.
That'd make a good series. I'd watch that.
It is.
It is.
Yeah, Acolyte.
Oh, I haven't watched that.
Yeah, the series Acolyte is supposed to be about Darth Plagueis.
Oh, I thought-
supposedly, did they actually say?
I thought
I
he
haven't
was-
seen it yet.
I thought he was like just like popped
well,
up at the end.
I thought there was a character that like everyone's saying that is. I didn't know if they confirmed it or not.
Yeah, so I think the build-up for season 1 is the reveal that this is going to be Darth Plagueis, but they're not. They haven't confirmed it until season 2 comes out.
I got you. All right.
Yeah, but I haven't seen it, so I don't know. But
Yeah,
that's what the premise of my understanding was.
The only time that I can semi agree with, not actually having it, but like trying, not saying I feel sympathy for them, but like them making there try to be sympathy is like when you do it, I guess comic book style, where you have like the anti version of that hero, like Killmonger with Black Panther. Because then it is we were both on the same track, and then you have your one bad day. And I can agree, and when I say I agree, I'm not saying like I feel sympathy for it. I'm saying like I'm fine with them like putting that idea, because then it is okay, your hero, they had that one bad day and they still chose that path of justice and everything like that.
Right.
Whereas your villain didn't. You know, that is when, as corny as it is, when you have a superhero movie and you have the villain be, you know, a color swapped evil version, that is when I can get behind them trying to make them to have sympathy. But the problem is, at least in Marvel, is you'll have a character like that and then they bring them back later and they cast them in a better light, like Loki. Loki ended up becoming a hero.
I think that was due to Tom, what's his fuck's like
Hiddleston.
like his charisma, right? Like, I don't think that was planned.
But like,
Well, that's how Loki is in the Marvel comics. I mean, Loki bounces between hero and villain, and it's always been, I don't like Thor, not I'm going to conquer the world. It's fuck Thor because Thor wronged me, but the rest of the universe, like, I'm a god and you are ants, so I don't care about you, but fuck Thor. That's always been like Loki's perspective.
But didn't they do that with Killmonger? They brought him back in Wakanda Forever.
Did they?
And he was a good. Yeah, because he was in the astral plane. I don't know if he. I don't know if he was a good guy per se.
You just get to see him, and he kind of holds that, like, because you couldn't get Chadwick Boseman, you know.
Well, yeah.
So he kind of does those lines, but yeah. So you see him in the afterlife.
Okay, and then there's
Baron,
Darren Cross. He comes back, and doesn't he have a redemption?
Oh, as MODOK?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they convinced MODOK to turn on Kang, but that's about the extent of it.
Okay.
Well, here's a good example. I know most of you guys don't like this movie. It's the only Superman movie I like. Man of Steel, General Zod. He was just trying to like save his people by the expense of wiping out all of humanity.
Right, and I think that's kind of the line you have to be careful with the Killmonger and the General Zod. Like, you have to be careful when you're doing Sympathy for the Devil that you don't do too much, because I walked away from the first Black Panther movie on Killmonger's side. Mm-hmm. Like, Killmonger was wronged, and like he was upset about it, but he went to Wakanda, went through their election process, and legally became king of Wakanda. And his first choice was, we're going to share our technology with the world.
Well,
he's not wrong. Like that, he's a hero here. He's not doing anything uncivilized here. He's not doing anything evil.
Well, I think there's a little... Yes, he's going to share his technology with the world by taking over the world.
They never really say that. They're just like, we're a technological powerhouse. You know, you left me in Harlem, I think it was, and... Oakland. And, like, I was starving. Like, we didn't share our technology with anyone. There are people in need. So, like, yeah, we're going to go help those people. And, yeah, maybe it's a little bit more forceful. Yes. But let's be honest, no more forceful than when the United States goes out to help people who are in a war-torn country. You know? So I walked away from Black Panther going, I don't know if Black Panther is the hero of this movie.
What's that name? Okay, I was gonna say technically he was the Black Panther, but no, I guess at the end of the movie he wasn't, was he?
Right.
The Jaguar.
He was a Jaguar?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Killmonger became a Jaguar? I thought he became Black Panther.
No, that's sort of what...
That's his character, is he's a Jaguar.
No, I thought... No, he was...
He was wearing a Black Panther suit with the golden stylized.
But but Killmonger's actual character in the comics, it's... is it Man-Ape? No, that was M'Baku.
Yeah, M'Baku was Man-Ape.
What's Killmonger's actual character name in the comics?
Killmonger, I think.
No, I thought it was something... Because it had something to do with the mask that he stole out of the... Let me look at it. We're all Googling it.
Yep, hang on, guys.
Google. A comic book character that I did not want any sympathy for, Doomsday.
Yeah.
I was perfectly fine with Doomsday being a one-off character that killed Superman, and granted, I like the story of his origin, but at the same time, I'm like, you didn't really need to give me this.
Maybe it's just he wore a mask in the comics.
Yeah, I mean, it's just Killmonger. His Wakanda name is Nenjakata.
Yeah.
And yeah, very Jaguar-y look to him.
Told you. Thank you. Yeah.
But yeah, like, I think there's just so many pitfalls. Like, when you do Sympathy for the Devil correctly, it's very good. But you have to be careful. It's a very fine line to walk on, because you either go too far in on this villain is correct, like you do with Killmonger, in my opinion, or the fall seems so quick you can't really justify them being the villain that they are, which is my opinion of Megatron and Transformers 1. Megatron, when he becomes Megatron, it's such a sudden
He yells
flip.
it. He yells it.
Yeah, like he's like, I am Megatron, and now I hate Prime because the script says so. Like,
you
there's
shake
no
it.
justification
Motherfucker,
for the hatred there. So, like, if you're trying to build sympathy for the devil, you have to, like, follow that path and walk it finely. You can't make them a hero until the last 5 minutes, and suddenly they're evil, and you can't make them so right that the people side with him.
Yeah.
You know, I think Thanos was a good sympathy for the devil. Like, the Thanos and Endgame and Infinity War, you have, like, okay, here's Thanos. He's got a purpose, which is there's not enough resources, so I will kill half of the living things. And he has a purpose. Like, he saw his world destroyed. He has a family he cares about. He has a purpose, and he has seen this work. But the steps that he takes are wrong. So you still see him be the villain that he is and become the villain that you want him to be, but you understand his origin and how he gets there.
I don't think it would have worked in the MCU, but I would have preferred the comic Thanos. His reasoning behind it. And maybe that's because, granted, I don't know a whole lot about it, except he wants to kill that many people to impress Death because he's in love with Death. I would have preferred that, in the sense that I don't like sympathy for the devil, and in that I'm not as hardcore as some people are. Like, some people are like, yeah, Thanos is 100% right, and I'm just like, his idea is right, but the way he went about it is not.
Yeah, I mean, the justification there to me is that he is wrong because he went, there's not enough resources, so I will kill half the people of the world, of the universe, instead of, oh, we don't have enough resources, let me triple or quadruple the amount of resources in the world.
I have a stone that can warp all of reality. Let me.
We should shrink everybody so like a normal sized cracker can.
We
be.
should make a
We're
movie
not
about
doing
that.
downsizing.
You know, that's what how Ant-Man survives in Marvel Zombies.
See?
Yeah, he cuts off a piece of Black Panther, shrinks down to like ant size, and then gnaws on it,
Yeah, see?
and fills himself that way.
As you do.
As he's been up Thanos' butt.
Yeah. That's also how he keeps from zombifying Black Panther, is because he keeps cutting little pieces off and then eating it. Yeah.
I did not like Lucifer in Supernatural. They made him a villain, and he was perfectly fine. And then, like, season 9, they gave him a reason why he was evil.
Well, I feel like the devil. Well, obviously, this is where the title of this episode comes from. But it's like he's like the go-to one to make a bad guy. If you feel sorry for a bad guy, that's where Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost was written so you feel sorry for the devil.
See, like in Supernatural, like there's this huge. Fuck.
The fuck did you do?
I have no idea. There's this. I was speaking bad about Supernatural, and God shocked me. You find out that there's this mark, the mark of Cain, and it acts as a lock to keep the darkness at bay. And God gave it to his most trusted general, who was Lucifer, and it like turned Lucifer evil, and that was the reasoning for it. And I was like, no, just have him be evil. Like, don't.
So on the opposite, real quick before you finish that, and we'll go back. On the opposite end of Sympathy for the Devil, I don't even know if there may be a title for it, but I don't like taking good guys and making them bad. It felt like for the longest time, and I feel like we're starting to come out of it with James Gunn, is what if Superman was bad? Yeah, every fucking thing seems to be what if Superman was bad. Like, and it seems like in like Supernatural, they make God out to be the dick. That's like the go-to thing. Let's make God be the bad guy.
But see, I like that.
I like that when it's done like the first time, or if it has an original spin on it. Like if you're gonna make Superman bad, okay, what's your original spin? I don't know. He's just a bad person.
But see,
So
that's kind of what Supernatural did. They made him that way because he's, egotistical, and he's controlling everything, and then they have a new god that takes over, and he's just
Dark
like
side.
no, and he's just like
Orion?
he's more of the.
High Father?
I'm gonna slap you in the face.
Granny
Please do
Goodness?
it.
He's the more stereotypical like.
You guys aren't impressed I know who the new gods are?
Not
No,
really.
it's-
Even I know him.
It's
Name,
not like
name
it's
one I haven't named yet.
Miracle Man.
That shut you up.
No, that's not Miracle Man, is it? The escape
Maybe.
artist with Lady Barda?
Yeah.
Scott free.
Oh, Scott Free, yeah.
Now you got me all off fucking
Desaad.
track.
Yeah. Sorry.
I don't remember what I was saying now.
We don't know
Dick.
what you were saying either.
Medusa. She's one of the Furies.
Anyway. Oh, go ahead, Cody.
And I will agree with you. I don't like Sympathy for the Devil as an excuse for all actions. What I like more of this Sympathy for the Devil idea is I like Sympathy for the Devil enough to understand why they could get to these course of actions, I feel.
Steppenwolf.
Like,
Desaad.
I already said Desaad.
Calabac.
Ooh, good one.
as like making a guy just evil is fine, all that, and I do like that as a character trait sometimes. They're just a fucking bad guy. Like, I like that as a reason. But I'd like Sympathy for the Devil enough to get to know a guy to understand how he could make this as a rational decision for that character. You know what I mean? I like Sympathy for the Devil enough to understand why they are bad instead of justifying of the actions.
So like I said, for me it depends. Like the House on Haunted Hill, the remake, the Vandecut Institute. The guy's fucking crazy. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, does horrible things, tortured mentally ill people, and then you have Return to House on Haunted Hill, and you have a magical demon MacGuffin that made him evil, and it wasn't really his fault. And I'm like, I don't want that. Like, let him be an evil psychopath that I don't agree with, then make up some random bullshit that gives it an excuse. Like, oh, it wasn't his fault. Like,
This is going to be a bit hypocritical of me because it's extremely frustrating, but I think sometimes J.J. Abrams does it right. I think he goes extremely overboard, but I think if you lay out just enough of those loot crates of like ideas,
mystery boxes,
like he just fucking dumps them, and it gets a little frustrating. But sometimes, like David Lindelof, sometimes does it really well, where it's like you just put something in there, just you give it enough explanation to where it could be like 3 different options, so you have enough discord on the internet being like, oh, maybe it's this, maybe it's this, maybe it's this, and then just leave it, just because no matter what the writer's story is in the head, the internet fan base has a better one in their head. So just let it go. But J.J. Abrams sometimes just like takes a fucking semi truck and just opens the back gate and just. I mean, you have to explain something. You can't just have nothing but loot crates.
When did J.J. Abrams do it right?
Sometimes in Lost, I feel like he did a really good job of. I guess it'd be more Damon Lindelof that did that because I think he left after season 2.
Yeah.
But like just leave, like I felt like they explained the smoke monster too much.
Yeah.
So I think there are ways to do it correctly, and I'm trying to think of good examples of how they do it correctly. Like we've talked about how like Darth Vader was done correctly. I would say Negan from Walking Dead was done correctly.
You have to explain. I don't know his backstory.
So it's been a while, and I don't know how much changed from comic to show. But basically, like, he named the baseball bat after his daughter or wife who was killed in the apocalypse, so that way she would always be with him. And then, like, he was just making the best out of a bad situation. Like, he came into a situation, and there was this area that was all, like, raiders and bandits and, like lawlessness. And he put order and structure there. So rather than them all murdering each other, like the death stopped, the murdering stopped, and his group acted as protection for the cities. And then all he did was come to expect, I'm providing you a service, you pay me. You all are farmers, and that's fine. You give me food. We're warriors. We fight for you. And had that kind of mentality. And which was a mentality that worked well in feudal era. You know, you had warriors that protected farmers, and the farmers paid the warriors to protect them. Like, that happened. And that's kind of what Negan built it all off of. And then you have, like... And then, like, they kind of go into, like, the more warriors you picked up, the people who are good at fighting are kind of your ne'er-do-wells, so you put more structure in on them. And, like, he wasn't a paragon of...
Virtue.
Of virtue, because, I mean, like, the man, like... he wanted multiple wives, and he wanted to sleep with multiple women, so he had these rules for himself.
As you do.
Sex cult.
Yeah, he's sex cult. He's like, I want to sleep with you. You will be my you will be my wife. I will provide you with all of the things. I just expect you to be faithful to me. And like, he had that kind of mentality, and that's what he put forward. And like, it was okay. Like, if the woman said no, he was like, okay, then you don't get the things I'm offering you, but you're not gonna be my wife. And then move on. You know, he didn't like really exert any pressure on him other than, if you are my wife, you will get all of these benefits for being my wife, and I expect you to sleep with me. You know, and like,
I said I would.
The person that gets punished for it, I think it's Dwayne, is like Negan likes his wife, and Negan offers, hey, you can be my wife, and I will give you these benefits, and you have to sleep with me, and you will sleep with no one else. And she says yes, and then sleeps with Dwayne. So he punishes Dwayne and marks him, like, burns half his face as, like, testament of, like, hey, we had a rule, you broke the rule. You knew what the rule punishment was, and you chose to break the rule. It was very structured. I mean, if you're putting, like, Dungeons & Dragons alignments, like, Negan is the perfect example of lawful evil. Like, I put a structure in, I expect these things to happen, and yes, maybe the punishments crossed the line, but you knew what the punishments were when you crossed that line. And then you have, like, Rick comes in and is just like, no, fuck you, we're not going to pay for your warriors to protect me. So they stop protecting him.
Then Glenn gets his head smashed in.
Yeah, and it's an example of, okay, this is why you pay me to protect you. But a lot of that came from, like, the conflict that started when Rick's just like, fuck you, we're not going to pay you to protect us. And Negan's like, you will, or you're not going to get protected. And, like, okay, we need the food from Alexandria. Like, I just feel like they do a really good job. So when Negan's crew gets dismantled and Rick takes over, Negan's like, all I did was trying to do is create a society in which we could survive. And we did, until you showed up. And he becomes a hero because I need to survive, and everything has fallen apart, and you are in charge now. And, like, Negan kind of respects that. He's like, okay, I was in charge, you kicked me out, now you're in charge, and I'm going to follow the rules that you put in place.
So it's like Sinestro. It's like kind of like Sinestro.
Yeah, I would say that.
So it's the opposite of being the hero until you become the villain. You're the villain until you become the hero.
And I can agree that's a good example of Sympathy for the Devil. A bad example of Sympathy for the Devil that I know of would probably be the Cruella de Vil movie.
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Like, it is one of those ones I think you can almost reliably say this is not the same character as it is from the movie.
Yeah,
movie.
Yeah, because it's like, why am I supposed to like this chick in like 10 years when she's killing and skinning dogs?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because her mom was killed by a Dalmatian.
So?
Yeah, but...
So that makes him evil.
Technically, the fall off the cliff is what killed her, not the dog.
And that wasn't even her real mom.
Oh.
Yeah, so... And that in itself is, I would put as an example of
she turns into Glenn Close instead of Emma Stone.
Yeah.
Is a bad example of Sympathy for the Devil is when you can reliably pretty much say, yeah, this isn't the same character from these two movies, so you've made this alternate universe just using the name of this character.
Yeah. It's got a great soundtrack,
A
though.
good one is Roy Batty from Blade Runner. Sympathy for the Devil.
Yeah.
He's the one like, yeah, you made me for this purpose that I was supposed to fulfill indefinitely with no way for me to ever contest it.
Well,
and when I started to...
he doesn't want to die. Replicants only live for a certain period. And so he wants...
Technically, well, I guess he did commit murder, but he only committed murder to survive after they were, right?
Yeah.
He wasn't committing cold-blooded murder.
Yeah, like he wasn't just like singling people out. He's just like, hey, I want to get to Tyrell Corp to find my creator, to to fix this. Like I don't.
And his creator ended up being Jared Leto. Leto, right? Or was that too far in the future? No, it was Jared Leto.
In Blade Runner.
Well, 2049 ended up being Jared Leto. So wouldn't that be?
I didn't watch that one.
Oh, okay.
One that I don't get that I saw on there, and that's because I've never seen it, is Candyman. So Candyman has a tragic backstory. From what I read, he was a black painter in the 1800s, and like he's brutally murdered.
Mm-hmm.
Which, yeah, that again, tragic backstory, but what he there's no rhyme or reason to his killing.
So
is there?
So he was a former slave who was in the South. He won his freedom. The Civil War was over. He ended up falling in love with the plantation owner's white daughter, right? And it was forbidden love. And they ended up getting pregnant. And of course, there was still, there's still today. So I guess there would be back then too, racism. So the father went out. Well, what?
No, sorry. You looked directly at Cody when you said there's still racism.
Oh,
so that's the.
But what I'm
there's
saying,
still racism today.
But
yeah, exactly. That's exactly what happened. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is,
well, I'm getting there. So the father of the daughter and the lover, the husband or boyfriend, I don't remember which one it was, cut the hand off the painter because that's what he did was paint, and said, if you want to be so sweet to these women, whatever, poured honey on them and let the bees sting them to death, right? So he ended up becoming a symbol of vengeance for the poor and the poor and downtrodden of the African American society. I don't really remember how that translated into the original. So that's the backstory of the actual villain. I don't quite remember how he became a symbol of the urban legend and being a avenger of the downtrodden in was it Evergreen Terrace or whatever that little apartment complex is in Chicago?
Cabrini Green.
Cabrini Green. Yeah, I'm not sure how that made that connection.
But so like if I existed in that universe and I've done nothing wrong,
he won't attack you.
Oh, okay. That's why I said I've never seen the movies. I know that part. So if I go and say Candyman 5 times,
yes, he will attack you then.
He will?
Yeah, because you call his name.
But see, then to me that doesn't make him sympathetic. That gives him
makes him an unrational killer.
That gives him a tragic backstory.
Were they asking? I don't think they're asking for sympathy for him.
I looked up top 10 sympathetic villains.
Now I don't know about the remake. The remake took that character in a different route, so I don't know about the remake. I'm only talking about the original.
I pulled a U and I googled screen culture top 10 sympathetic villains, and he was on there. And
you didn't go with Collider or Screen Rant or usual ones.
I went with Screen Rant. I just said that.
I thought you said something else.
God damn! Play it back.
Yeah,
it's Screen
This
Rant.
is Tyler. I didn't say Screen Rant.
Like Magneto's on here. Like I can see that.
Magneto
has justification, yeah.
Has justification up to a certain point where annihilation of the entire human race.
Even then, have you met humans? Have you met humans?
No, that is a nihilistic view.
Yeah? Have you met humans?
Yeah, I've met some bad people, but I've also met a lot of good people.
So,
people that
Ultron spent 5 seconds on the internet and decided all humanity must die, and I kind of agree with
that.
That
was a very short age of Ultron.
So what's Magneto supposed to say? So there's we're what? We're
Homo sapiens, Homo superior.
And then there's one step above him because Mr. Immortal is one step above him.
It's Homo supreme.
So is Magneto going to be okay when that species comes up and they start wiping out Homo superior?
Almost assuredly not.
That's what I'm saying. So I mean, he is right. Humans treated the mutants very wrong, but not at genocide or random murder.
I'm saying he has a tragic.
They do in the comics. I will say that. Yeah, they're actively in the
did
comics.
Did Cody just say he's agreeing with genocide?
Yes.
No, in the comics.
Put your hand down, Cody. Stop it.
And talking to the microphone.
In the comics, they go that far of people in the comics trying to eradicate mutants.
Yes,
So I would say yes.
That justifies him that. So I don't want to get too
But then
political
again,
here,
it's not all humans, it's select humans.
That's what I'm saying. But Magneto wants to wipe out all humans.
right.
Well, it depends on where you're at in his storyline. But yeah, like when Magneto gets fed up, he's like, "Fuck humanity."
Well, like, was it Age of Apocalypse? Is that when he starts destroying?
You talking about movie wise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He like fucks a whole bunch of shit up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so it all kind of depends on where you're at, but like X-Men 97, for example, you have the original Magneto is like, you know, I was a Holocaust survivor. I've seen what people do when they start controlling us, and humans want to control us, and I'm going to make an example of them. This is why you shouldn't be doing the things that you're doing. So like, not a whole lot of sympathy there other than, hey, I have been wronged in my life, and I'm not going to let you continue to commit these wrongs. And then when you have like X-Men that switches over to X-Men 97, and like Magneto's like, okay, I'm going to turn over a new leaf. I'm going to do things correctly. I'm going to do all of the things. And then like he witnesses like atrocity versus atrocity against the X-Men. You know, he watches one of his mutants lose all of their powers from a human device. He watches an entire peaceful nation of mutants get annihilated because they are mutants and for no other purpose. Like, it's a peaceful island nation, and at the end of that he's like, nah, fuck everything. And that's when he's ready to destroy the world, you know? Like, he gets to the point where he's like, I've tried, and you are just not content with me being alive, so you won't be alive anymore.
But see, that's the point. But then that's when you become the bad guy. Like, I don't have sympathy for you because it's like so you're willing to kill little Susie, who legitimately
had nothing to do with
has no problem with mutants or humans. And yes, there are humans who have gone out and purposely tried to wipe you out. I agree, that sucks. But you're now turning around and you're wiping out all of humans.
And I think that's exactly what a good sympathy for the devil does, is you create this villain out of sympathy where you're like, I feel for you, I feel for you, I feel for you, and then here's the line. Mm-hmm. And you have crossed the line, and now you are a villain, but I understand what brought you to the line and what made you cross the line.
Right.
So I think that's a good example of a sympathy for the devil. I mean, at the end, you don't want sympathy for Magneto. He's wrong. He's evil.
But he's banging Rogue.
Yeah, and the storyline to get you there is what the sympathy for the devil is all about.
Wait, how does he do that?
He
takes his pants off?
He creates a very, very, very thin layer of like magnetic field.
Is it ribbed for her pleasure?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
He basically puts on a full body magnetic condom, so him and Rogue never actually touch, but they can still feel like contact.
She can't turn it off. She hasn't figured out how to turn it off.
No, and she's apparently not smart enough to know that I could just wear an inhibitor collar and turn it on whenever I want.
Oh yes.
Like no one has bothered to be like, hey, Rogue, would you like to wear this inhibitor collar so you could actually bang Gambit? Like,
another one on the list is General Hummel from The Rock.
Oh yeah, that's.
But see, he's never actually going to go through with it.
But that's true. He was never going to go through it, but he made the situation possible for people to actually go through with it.
Yeah, I guess.
He made a situation where he...
I'm sorry for pointing at you all the time.
Yeah, what the hell?
I'm an Italian. I can't talk Italian.
Like I said, I agree, but then that's like saying that the U.S. military that made the VX gas is just as responsible.
It's a very dangerous point, but the military had that VX gas locked up under lock and key until that character went in.
Well, then maybe the U.S. military should have done a better job of not letting those Marines...
They trained those Marines too well.
Okay. Agreed. Give me another thing on the list.
Let's see. Another thing on the list. Pamela Voorhees.
No.
Well, okay. I think she's a good example of sympathy for the devil. Again, you see what brings her to that line.
She shoved an arrow through Kevin Bacon's throat cut people's heads off.
Yeah.
Dude, that I realize your kid drowned or whatever. That you can't take people's life because those people that had nothing to do with it.
Adam, that's the point.
It went right through that point. Went right through Kevin Bacon's
The
throat.
point of Sympathy of the Devil is that you see the reason behind the villain and see what brought them to the line, and then you look at the line that you would not cross, and they cross that line. That's the whole point of the Sympathy of the Devil concept. So, yes, Pamela Voorhees, the lifeguards let her child die because they were too busy fucking. So Pamela goes, well, I fucking hate you all, which I think everyone here would justify, and that's the line. And then the line that she crosses is, not only am I going to murder you, I'm going to murder everyone who does anything like what you do. Where some of us, most of us, would probably stop at the I'm going to murder you part of that. You know, that's the point of...
I don't know. Once I got the taste for blood, I don't know if I'd be able to stop.
Okay, so Cody...
You like
stay away from Cody.
What?
You like taste of copper?
I kind of do, actually.
When he was bleeding the other day, I thought, man, that goes good with some vinegar.
And vinegar, God, you take like the worst taste of shit.
Yeah.
Could have said anything.
Right. So, I mean, that's the point of Sympathy of the Devil, is to watch that villain walk up to the line. So if he says Pamela Voorhees and you're like, nah, fuck that bitch, she murdered all the people, good job on the Sympathy of the Devil rating. That's what you want to have happen. When you get to that line, what you don't want to have happen is to not understand why they crossed the line, like Megatron, or to agree with them crossing the line, like Killmonger.
Was his name Megatron to begin with?
No.
Oh, what was it? Or was it just a number?
It was
problem?
numbers.
Oh,
In that one, anyway.
I gotcha.
So
Which
that's...
Which one?
That one.
Transformers one?
Yeah. So...
Quit taking my joke.
So that's the point. If we agree with the villain at the end, it's a bad written Sympathy of the Devil. If we don't understand why they crossed the line, it's badly written. But if they get to that line and then cross it and we go, oh, I want to cross that line, then that's a well-written Sympathy for the Devil.
There's another one that I want to talk about, but
No.
I can't because people haven't finished some seasons of a show yet.
Oh, fuck.
And I don't want to ruin
Oh, we get
What
it. We
show's
feel
that?
bad for the robot that's bigger than the fucking known universe. We get it.
Invincible.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you really need to get caught up.
I'll leave the room if you guys want to talk about it.
No, because I don't know.
I don't know anything. I have a vague recollection of what Invincible is about.
Okay, it is. It can wait, but it's reasoning. It has this big speech that the main guy gives for himself for doing his actions. That has been one of the best reasonings I've heard in a while. That like, oh my god, I can kind of see who you are, but you are fucking insane, and sort of stuff. And like, it has been powerful. And once you hear it, I think you'd like it too. Mm-hmm. So get to that point. And what's next on the list?
Daniel, get to that point.
We've basically said everything on the list. The only other thing that I also have is like
What's your password?
6969.
Really?
No, it's not. Get
Oh.
off my phone.
I was gonna look at the list.
Hocus Pocus. In Hocus Pocus, you got the three sisters that willingly and happily murder children to extend their life. You have Winifred, who cares nothing for her sisters, that after her sisters explode, she is still trying to steal a child's soul so she can live on. And then you have the second movie where it's, we're sisters, we do everything together, like, it's not our fault, we should all be together. Like, it completely undoes, again, in my mind, the entire thing. Like you said, that's when I don't like Sympathy for the Devil. Like, again, it also comes back to horror films where, like, I don't want there to be a reason. Like,
Well, I think the reason why it's so big in horror is because they become the stars of the movie.
yeah,
Like Freddy's jokes became the stars over the teenagers. Jigsaw became more popular than the victims.
And again, I think Jigsaw is a well-written Sympathy for the Devil. Like,
Well, Okay.
No.
You see why he gets to that line, like, and then you see why he crosses it, and you go, "Ooh, I wouldn't cross that line," because like he's cancer survivor, and someone murders his wife's baby, like.
Well, that was an accident, though.
He didn't see it as an accident.
Does it matter?
Yeah, he didn't see it as an accident, and it's all about. That's I think another part of the Sympathy for the Devil. It is their perspective of what is wrong or not.
He did see what happened.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
Right, but I mean, does that matter though? I mean, it was a drug seeker who killed his unborn child trying to get drugs from his wife who was running a free clinic. Like,
but you know how many people he killed when Jigsaw was a baby? When Jigsaw was 8, 9, 10, 11?
Don't start. We're not doing that again.
Okay. Home Alone. He was Macaulay.
oh,
Culkin.
gotcha, okay.
Well, you said baby, and then you said 8, 9, 10, 11.
I
You
know,
just started
right,
listing off numbers.
15, 16, 17.
Another, what I think really well designed Sympathy of the Devil was Agatha from Agatha All the Way, or All Along.
I haven't seen it.
That one does a really good job because you feel like you're gonna okay, she's obviously the villain of WandaVision, and
But she killed that dog. You don't kill a dog.
The dog
as
wasn't
a
real.
villain. Yeah, so like Agatha all along, they build her up like, okay, she's gonna be the hero. You're gonna feel sympathetic for her.
She's a doggy paddler.
Like they start explaining like all of the origins of her backstory to get her to where she's at, and then like in the last episode or two, they show the line that she crosses, and you go, oh no, she is a villain, and they do that really really well, where you're building up like I like this person, I like this character, and you kind of almost forget some of the villainous things that she did in WandaVision, and then like you see that line and you're like, oh, there it is.
I didn't forget she killed that fucking dog.
Right, and like you see, okay, well I understand a lot of this, and you also understand why everyone kind of hates her, because like the entire time they're like, oh, well you just keep letting your coven die, and she's like, no I don't. Oh yeah, she does. And like they kind of explain some of that, and it's like, okay, this is why you're a solitary. They do. I think they do a really good job with that.
You notice how you never see two people playing solitaire? It's always one person.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, neat.
Wow. Okay.
Feel good about that one?
Do you have any recommendations?
Recommendations for Sympathy for the Devil?
Or do you got any more you want?
The Oz the Great and Powerful
Okay.
is, I think, a great way of... It's like a happy medium between the two. The original Wizard of Oz and Wicked. Where it is, you're showing somebody that started off with good intention and then immediately gets used and abused by a man.
Could those...
She didn't get used and abused by him.
Yeah,
Rachel Weisz, she is the villain. She's the one that convinces I don't know what her name is in that Mila Kunis's Wicked Witch that she is evil.
Yeah, that... Could those be in the same universe? Because Mila Kunis wasn't green at the beginning. Was Abra...
Alphaba? Yes.
Alphaba, yes.
Is she
she's
green?
born green, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I guess they couldn't be in the same universe.
Yeah. Apparently, Alphaba's mom was having an affair with some guy, and they used like a magical drug during her conception.
Oh, you don't know who it is?
I don't think they showed in the Wicked movie who it is.
Oh, okay.
Do you know who it is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Who is
It's
it?
in the musical. Well, I'm not telling him if he wants to watch the sequel.
Well, yeah, I'm going to watch part 2, but
Whisper it in my ear.
We gotta get this deep Wicked lore.
yeah.
Is it a character I'll know?
Yes.
Is it the wizard?
I can confirm, maybe not, or
Okay.
it is.
All right. So
they
Tyler smiled, so apparently it's
So
the
they
wizard.
definitely couldn't be in the same universe because the wizard was banging Mila Kunis, who ended up being the Wicked
Yeah,
Witch.
yeah,
they're
they
not
can't
in
be in
the
the
same
same
universe.
universe.
No, they're public domain now. Anybody can make a Wizard
Have you
of Oz
seen
movie.
Popeye the Manhunter or whatever?
No, I don't really care.
Have you seen the trailer for that?
No, but I've seen the mean one, and I've seen the First Blood and Honey.
Man, I can't wait till he makes his MCU universe. Like he's building it up.
Well,
Is
I've
he
already
really?
heard that
Yeah.
they got the
That's
Bandy
awesome.
one.
They got a Steamboat Willie one yet?
Yeah,
They-
Mousetrap.
They got a Bambi one on the way.
It's Popeye the.
I can't wait to see these. They're so fun. The mean one was so terrible. It was so fun.
The boss is calling.
Now, see, like, what do you think about, like, where they give the Grinch a backstory and make him sympathetic? I mean, not like he's like a... I guess he technically falls under the villain category.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the Jim Carrey Grinch went a little far on that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the new animated Grinch, I think, did all right to kind of explain.
The Benedict Cumberbatch one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that one did a lot better.
Like I said, I mean, I don't... Again, I guess it depends on the story. I guess when I think villain and I don't want to feel anything for them, it's like the horror element.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if I want to know their backstory, then I guess that's more of where I'm looking at sympathy for it.
Gotcha.
That was my kid. We bought him one of those cups at the gas station as free refills. So he wanted he wanted a free refill.
Oh, that's funny.
So I said, as soon as I get home, I'll take you. You'll get a free refill.
Ooh, at Huck's?
Thanks.
No,
Thanks for getting me a free refill.
No, no kidding.
That's fine.
It's the one that has a shell.
Ah.
It's the one that has a shell for a logo.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
I wonder which one that one is.
Yeah. All right. Back to recommendations. Maleficent. I felt like did Sympathy of the Devil really well to kind of explain, like, she wasn't always evil, but kind of justify why she became the way she was.
Is that the Angelina Jolie one?
Yes, I really like that one. Mm-hmm. Yep. Tyler?
I don't have any recommendations that fit Sympathy for the Devil. Trying to think of what I've watched recently. I guess I watched Damsel, Millie Bobby Brown movie.
Oh, I've heard good things about that.
I guess if you, and this isn't a spoiler that it's in the trailer, the dragon, I guess if you classify the dragon as a villain, the dragon would fall under Sympathy for the Devil.
Oh, you know what? I think I may have seen that, because isn't that like she spends the entire movie like running from the dragon, and like the dragon had like eggs stolen from it and murdered or whatever.
Yeah, the eggs were destroyed.
Now,
Yeah, I have seen that.
So I don't know if this qualifies. I did not come up with this. I heard it on it on Caravan.
Big shot.
Heard it on Caravan and Garbage, which heard it from Kevin Smith. That the dragon in the Harry Potter bank, they released that dragon, and Kevin Smith is like, because everyone feels bad that dragon was held captured, right? But what if that dragon was the dragon Hitler and they were holding him? But we feel bad that he's been locked up. But what if that dragon committed dragon genocide?
It didn't. It was born in there. That's why its skin is extremely pale. It was born in that cavern and kept in there.
Yeah, so...
How do you know that?
Because he has Harry Potter
I've read the books.
Oh, okay, fine. I haven't read a single word.
It had been kept there.
Because I don't waste my time on stupid shit.
Asshole.
Hey, are you the first billionaire author?
Yeah. I wrote the Bible.
I have an anime one, and it is...
Is it about fucking robot that's bigger than the known universe?
No, it is Death Note. The anime Death Note. There's the Americanized version. I don't care for it, but I can see it's good. But the anime one does a good job of showing a guy given powers to do great and terrible things, starting off using it for what he perceives as good and for the betterment of the world, that eventually ends with him making more and more decisions that, all in an attempt to keep this power, basically become a god of this world by using this power as judge, jury, and executioner. And over time, you're seeing where at first it's just criminals, but then it's people who's getting in his way of doing it. And that moral slide, okay, you are now my enemy because you're trying to stop me from making this world better.
You're my enemy because my robot is bigger than the
And it goes to show at the end, like, him getting his comeuppance that they finally got one over on him. They finally, you stretched too far, and it doesn't matter if you have this power. Humans were able to stop you.
Was it One Piece? Is that why you stretched too far?
No.
Oh. Who would win in a stretching contest? One Piece or Mr. Fantastic?
I think Luffy, because his powers aren't just stretching.
What about Plastic Man?
It's Luffy again.
What
Because
about
his
Elongated
powers have
Man?
now evolved to an area that his powers technically aren't stretching. It is actually manipulation of reality.
What about Elongated Man?
Fucking really?
Sort of, yeah. He can make the world like he perceives it. So
What
he
the
starts.
fuck?
His powers evolve to a certain point where he's almost cartoony in appearance.
That doesn't even make sense with his power
many,
set.
Like, classic Tom and Jerry cartoons when a guy's running and the ground sort of wells up behind him as he's running, and then he just takes off and whatnot. Or how a guy would get hit in the head. And
They turned him into slapstick?
yes, he's always been slapstick. That's the point, though.
I could have watched the show, and I'm not trying to bash your show. I could have watched it for the whole he's rubbery and all of that, and been perfectly fine. But they turned it into the episode of Supernatural where like they make everything into like a cartoon.
Yeah.
You remember that one?
Yes, I do remember that one.
Where like the guy has reality warping powers and he has dementia and can't control it anymore. So his doctor like takes him to a bank and like he creates like the Tex Avery circle that he can reach through and like grab the money and pull it back
And
out.
it makes you feel any better. We haven't gotten to that reality breaking of yet. It's more of him manipulating himself and his environment to a certain degree.
Like I would have, it would have been cool to see like some Plastic Man shenanigans where like he transforms into a chair or some shit like
And
that.
that's Wonder Woman sit on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, and yeah, so and that don't get me wrong, this caused the same exact controversy when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
But it is in the line of the universe. This is normal for the universe.
All right.
Okay, so it's one of those things like, yeah, I'm not going to try and get you guys into it now after 10, 11 plus years of it
So
being a thing.
how is he not like a god in that world if he can warp reality? Like what's
Because there's other powers on par with that.
like what?
This is not the
Like
time to explain.
we need to
Zoro has 2 swords.
He has
like-
3.
like
He has 3 swords against a mind-building,
Like-
warping
Yeah,
reality
wait till
power.
he figures out how to wield the 4th one in his ass cheeks.
Oh shit!
And he's
Oh,
working
shit.
on it.
I
like
know.
like oh we got to travel this long distance. Okay, let me just pull up a map and then like he crinkles the map and then like they travel like that far on the line.
Oh, that didn't work out well for the Event Horizon.
But like I'm saying, like in the universe, it is plausible. Like it is one thing you're saying from outside that, oh god, that's stupid. In the universe, it makes sense, and it's one of those things like it takes a lot to explain why it is not as overpowered. But it's in the same thing as like saying like, well, why is Mr. Mixelplix able to get banished by just saying his name backwards?
Because that's the rules of that universe.
Right, and that's just it. That's the rules of this universe.
Okay, so you is there any sympathy to be had for Skeletor
So in the,
or Hordak, a major
no,
villain?
not
in He-Man?
definitely not Hordak. Hordack's your Hitler, your John Lennon, your
John Lennon,
your Richard Marx.
Yeah, I hate Beatle music.
Richard Marx.
He's your horrible person. Skeletor, if we're going with the 2000X series, and yes, because he was technically supposed to be king, but because of his skin color, they were like, no. And of course, he got the acid because of him. Keldor fucked up his own face. I mean,
As you do.
He threw it at Randor, and Randor like protected himself with a shield, and it bounced off the shield and blew up on him. So, but he should have been king. But because he was was it Gar? Because he's a Gar, the human species, the Eternians, are like, no. So,
Well, yeah,
but
he's blue.
Hordak's the evil piece of shit.
Okay, so we talked about Megatron. Is there someone in One Piece?
Don Flamingo.
Jesus Christ! Does he only have one leg?
No.
Can he warp all? He can transform into a one-legged mech that's bigger than the known universe.
Don Flamingo is family used to be part of in the universe the world nobles, which is basically just the ruling class of the entire planet. And it's basically like, hey, we are basically gods on high. Everything else is here to serve us. His father said, we are just normal people. We're going to go live down on the surface with normal people. And in doing so...
On the surface?
Yeah, because they live on what's called the Red Line, which is a giant stone wall that circumnavigates the entire Earth.
So it's a flat Earth.
It is... No. That's not...
No.
So, gods on high, the other world nobles say, you do this, you lose all your world noble protection. And as soon as they go down, because people hate the world nobles because they treat them like shit.
Well, if they were better at going down, they wouldn't hate them so much.
They basically crucify and kill his family, and Don Flamingo and his brother survived.
So he didn't have a leg to stand on?
Guy, you were just waiting to get that.
And so it goes on where he's then trying to get his place back on the world nobles. But to do so, he is creating atrocities upon atrocities of acquiring resources and power and screwing over anybody because he feels he is better than them because he's supposed to be a god. And it is Sympathy for the Devil up to like a point and they're like, no, you're just a fucking horrible person. Like, he does this entire thing where his powers is he is a string man. He makes strings.
That warp reality.
That do some really busted stuff. Like,
Jesus Christ.
Basically, he puppeteers the king of a kingdom to... And basically blackmail with, hey, you're going to get me this certain amount of money before the day's over with, or else I will kill your entire family and your entire country. He forces the king to go get this money, and then he puppeteers the king to start killing his own citizens. And
what sense does that make?
Just because he's a sadistic fucking asshole. He did it all in an attempt to basically take control of this country.
Every time I try and like wrap my brain around this show, it
oh yeah,
it's
like,
all over the place.
Yeah, every time you see all the Luffy stuff of he's just basically a cartoon character because he is, but it is a show that will take you to like that's fucking stupid and you'll laugh your ass off to oh my god, this character's life is so tragic.
All right.
I guess my last recommendation. I'm blanking on the name of the comic book, but it's the one where Hal Jordan goes crazy and becomes Parallax and destroys.
Oh, that cool picture of him with all the rings.
Yeah, it's because it starts off. It's after the reign of the Superman story. After Mongol destroys Coast City, he like through willpower recreates it with his ring. And then the Guardians of the Universe show up and they're like, hey, you use this construct for your own personal gain. You're out. Like, we're taking your ring back.
Yep.
And
he's a man with no fear?
No, I can't remember. Like, I'm blanking on the name of it. And I have it at home. I just can't think. It's and then he's like, no, like, I did this for me. Like, I've sacrificed everything for the universe, and I was like, all I did was make this so that I can have one moment of happiness. And they're like, nope, you're done. And he's like, fuck it, if you can't even let me have this, then I'm taking it all. And then he like absorbs that construct and then just goes and fucking slaughters everybody.
That sounds like a sweet book that I have not read yet.
That's just coming up. Superman Volume 2, number 80.
I'll look it up.
Okay.
While Daniel's giving us an outro.
All right. So you've been listening to The Orig, a Damage Control podcasting production. Make sure you check out new episodes every Monday on YouTube, SoundCloud, and Apple Podcasts. Make sure you check out our social medias on Facebook and Instagram. And please like, comment, and subscribe.
Emerald Twilight.
Emerald Twilight is the book that Tyler was talking about.
The third in the Twilight Zone.
Adam,
That was dumb.
push the button.